everyone, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to another game. This one is called Depression Quest and it's not the same like the previous ones on my channel. This will be a lot of reading, but might be very interesting actually. There are real stories about people with depression, and I think someone might be interested in this. So let's start. It is early on a Monday morning. You are a mid-20s human being. You have a significant older named Alex, who you are rather fond of, that you have been seeing exclusively for the past few months. The rest of your social circle consists of a variety of friends and acquaintances, some of whom you met at your day job, which is a little boring but pays the rent. You'd like to be doing more with your life, as would your parents, but you are still in the process of figuring out what that means and how to go about it. Okay, so we can click on this, and probably there will be articles. Let's check them out too. That might be useful. You met Alex through a mutual friend a few months back. The two of you hit it off pretty well that first night, and after a series of initially awkward dates, you finally became a couple, much to your surprise and excitement. Alex is 3 months younger than you are and is currently a student with part-time job and broad social circle. She's also got a wide variety of interests, and oftentimes you worry that you might be too boring for her, but she has been good at trying to reassure you that she's happy with you. Your relationship consists of a lot of nights in watching Netflix, when you've both got time off work and she doesn't have classes, with the occasional social outing that she tends to have to talk you into attending. She tries to be understanding when you are in one of your moods, as she puts it, though you are starting to feel like she doesn't understand what it's like for you. And this is a source of tension in your relationship, coupled with your reluctance to want to go to college parties. This gets you worry of not being exciting enough for them. Well, that isn't bad. No, I know it's depression, but you could try to go out from time to time, not only spend time on Netflix. Your social circle is made up of a few close friends, some of which you've known from high school and some from jobs that you've worked. You've also met various acquaintances through reluctantly going to social events with Alex, and you keep in touch with a few friends that you occasionally run into. You also have several online friends that you talk to regularly, that you feel less guarded with, possibly due to communicating from the safety of being behind the keyboard. You enjoy the low commitment of the friendships, since they don't expect very much of you other than to listen and share personal thoughts and experiences. Despite the low commitment, you feel fairly connected with these people and tend to be more honest with them than people you interact with in real life on a day-to-day basis. You feel incredibly nervous trying to make new friends on your own, and are very good at talking yourself out of going on to unfamiliar places or larger social engagements, regardless of how much you may actually want to attend. Meeting new people stresses you out to a high degree, and this is something you wish you could work past. You admit you have a bad habit of flaking on social engagements, even with long-time friends, and are puzzled as to why some days you just can't force yourself to go see these people that you really do care about. Those that have stuck around long enough to be that close with you understand that this is a thing you sometimes do, and have seemed to more or less accept it, even though they chide you for it on occasion. However, you've had friends in the past give up trying to maintain a friendship with you because of this trait, taking your social anxieties as a personal slight, or eventually getting tired of trying to track you down all the time. You feel incredibly guilty about this, but are not quite sure how to change. Day job. You have a day job which you feel is really nothing special. You started out receiving minimum wage, but have stayed around long enough to be making enough to support yourself. The work is dull and unrewarding, and most days you feel like just about anyone could do it. You have a hard time relating to most of your coworkers, so you mostly keep to yourself and get the work done. While there are one or two people you chat with, though you wouldn't consider yourself close with them. A lot of days lately you have a really hard time getting out of bed and forcing yourself to go in. You are starting to wonder how long you can keep this up. You'd really like to find another job in your field of interest, but feel like you are underqualified every time you look at online job postings. Sometimes you think about going back to school, but you would be unsure how you would be able to support yourself, and wonder if that degree would really help anyway. As would your parents. You're one of the few people you know of whose parents never got divorced, but you do wonder if they still love each other sometimes. You have an older brother named Malcolm, who has moved across the country with his wife to work a high-paying job. Every major holiday that you've seen him at, you feel a bit jealous and like the lesser kid despite being genuinely happy to see him. You feel very ashamed of these feelings. Your parents genuinely care about you. This often involves inviting you back to your childhood home for dinner, though your mother thinks you never visit quite enough. But you get the impression they don't fully understand you. They want to see you succeed, and don't know why you haven't gone further in life yet, because you're so smart and talented. Anytime you've tried to talk to them about your motivation issues, they tell you that the solution is simply to work hard or want it more. Your father is generally more forgiving of your lack of a career path, while your mother seems to think you're too smart to be in the position you're in. You know they love you and they're not bad people, but you really feel like a big disappointment sometimes. Wow. That's intense. You are also dealing with motivation issues that sometimes makes dealing with these things difficult. You feel like this is probably your fault, and no bad days can feel inwardly angry and down on yourself for being lazy, but you are not quite yet sure how you can break out of it, or how other people deal with this feeling and seem so very functional. You spend a lot of nights fixating on thinking about this, but never seem to do anything about it other than lose sleep. It's an unseasonably warm Wednesday evening. You've spent the past several hours at work. The past week or so you've found your job motivation flagging more so than usual. You've been in a fog practically all day today, simply going through the motions without realizing even what you've been doing half the time, and yet time seemed to be moving at half speed. You were so checked out that when your boss approaches you to tell you that it's dead and you can go home early, registers. As I noticed that the music is relatively different right now, and it really makes the story more intense. As you walk home the streets hiss from the recent rainfall. You know that your significant other will be in classes until late, another couple of hours at least. You briefly consider using the serendipitous solitude to catch up on that project that you've been working on haphazardly for the past few months. What is the project? A while back, you and some of your older friends were out at a bar catching up after bequeathing considerably more of your paycheck than was perhaps responsible, and ending up truthfully in your counts. You open up on the to only people you really consider yourself close to, end up launching into a drunken tirade about the meaninglessness of your utterly menial job and ultimately your own existence. Having never really seen you in such a state before, friends were briefly taken aback by your sudden uncharacteristic outburst. One of your friends suggested that you get involved with your hobby on a more regular, long-term basis, suggesting that expending your energy on something that you actually care about might help you to be better cope with the shittiness of your 9 to 5. Although you were embarrassed that you let your guard down and you felt self-conscious at seeming to have single-handedly brought the mood down at the table, you convinced yourself on the cab ride home that maybe it would be worth trying out. You began your project some months ago and have miraculously managed to keep at it, though your level of motivation and subsequent effort rise and falls considerably. While you were surprised when you started at how good it felt to actually work on something you were passionate about, lately you found it hard to muster the energy to really care about even this. As soon as you think about the work that awaits you at home, you can feel the panic creeping in from the back of your brain unbidden. All you can think about is how incredibly far behind you are, and the amount of work seems nothing less than insurmountable. By the time you arrive home and change out of your uncomfortable work clothes, the stress is weighing down on you like a heavy wet wool blanket. Your computer assumes to be staring you down from your desk. You want to sit down and work, but the mere thought of trying to work sends your stress level flying. More than anything, you feel suddenly and absolutely exhausted and feel a strong desire to simply hide in bed, do you? Oh man, I can't do this. So choices. Rather sit down at your desk, try to make yourselves do something. No, telling you just need a quick half and doing from work. Crawl into bed, you're exhausted and you couldn't possibly accomplish anything anyways. Your depressed interaction is exhausting and you are becoming more and more withdrawn. You are not gonna see a therapist. You are not gonna take depression. This, well, the point 2 option is bad, I think. Yeah. Always when you are at least a little stressed on you shouldn't do your work. I mean, he just came back from work, from his job, so this guy should take a little rest, so I don't want to go with this option. Turn on the TV, telling yourself you just need a quick half an hour to read from work. Crawl into bed, you are so stressed and overwhelmed, you couldn't possibly accomplish anything anyways. Both options might be good, but I think I will go with the TV. I don't know if he's alone or with the girlfriend, Alex. Yes, I will go with TV. I also don't know what time is it, because maybe it's early, so when he get up very early or really at night, he might get more depressed. Maybe there will be something on TV that make him less stressful. Let's go with that. Netflix. Just a half hour of TV, you tell yourself, absent grasping for the moment. You don't so much sit down on the couch and sink into it. You turn on the TV and start going through your usual channel routine. After a few cycles of this, you realize that you were really not doing much more than thumb calisthenics and obstinate killing time. You check the clock and see that over 20 minutes have already passed since you sat down. As your self-imposed time limit creeps ever nearer, you become more and more anxious. You stand up and walk to the fridge, thinking, I will just make a quick sandwich and get to work after that. Can be productive on an empty stomach, right? As you eat, you start pacing around your apartment, heading past your bedroom in the process. You stop in the doorway, as if physically unable to cross that threshold. Familiar waves of exhaustion start racking you, and you feel simultaneously tired and panicked. You close your door and head back to the couch. It's still early yet, you tell yourself. As long as I get to work in an hour, I have plenty of time to be productive. As you flip channels and let the CSI and Jeopardy reruns wash over you, you sink deeper into the couch, feeling at once encroached upon and shielded by being quite literally swallowed up by it. As the second hour draws nearer, sure enough, you find yourself getting anxious and jittery. You repeat the fridge-based couch process a couple more times before you look at the clock and realize that several hours have passed, and not surprised you've managed to get no work done. You crawl into bed, acutely aware of the fact that you have work in the morning and that any opportunity you have to catch up on your own creative endeavors today was squandered. You're feeling so disgusted with yourself that when Alex calls to talk to you on her way home from class, you simply say you had a really rough day at work and you are trying to rest up before your shift tomorrow. She says she understands and wishes you a good night, though you can't help but notice that she sounds slightly disappointed. Ironically, the stress of potentially upsetting your partner compounds with the stress of not having gotten anything done this evening, and the stress of having to go into work tomorrow. The buzzing of anxiety in your brain wells together with your body's other physical exhaustion, and you sink into a semi-hypogonic anxious funk. Too tired to try and work, but too anxious to fall asleep for several hours. Oh man, you are very depressed, you spend a large amount of time sleeping, hating yourself, and have very enjoyable mood. You are not currently seeing a therapist. So that was a bad choice, probably. Or maybe not, I have no idea, I won't come back. Okay, I guess this is the end for this part. I really want to make a series of it. This might be helpful for some people. So simply just see you in the next one. Bye.